All right, you should have just finished doing the results box in the data table, and continuing on in that same box for checkpoint 3, it says we have to insert a graph of our data. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that real quickly. Just click on the link to Desmos. I know some of you have used it in math, but we'll show you exactly how we want you to use it in science. First thing we're going to do, now you may have to log in to get here, and if you do, just use your Google account. It's really quickly. I'm already logged in. As you can see, my name's over here. First thing I'm going to do is hit this plus button right here. It allows me to put it in table format, which makes things a lot easier for me. Now it looks just like it does in the checkpoint. And if I go back to my checkpoint, in case you forget, I give you a big hint here. This data is my x-axis, and over there is my y-axis. So I'm going to put these numbers into Desmos. And the numbers for the y-axis I'm going to make up, so they might not be anything like yours, which is fine. I'm just going to put some random numbers so you understand how to graph. You'll put your actual numbers from your data table. So let's put 25, 32, 44, 56. I don't know. Those numbers sound good enough to me. Now, if you notice, over here, I didn't make anything on my graph. Did I mess up? No, but I'm zoomed in too far. So to fix that, I'm just going to hit the minus button and zoom out until I eventually see my graph. So right now, I have a nice little graph. It has all my points of data, but I have not connected the dots. So to fix that problem, I simply click on the settings button, the green dot next, and now I drag this lines button over and it connects. Looks good, so I hit done, and now my graph is showing exactly where it should be. Now this next step you can skip if you want, but it will make your graph look better, and it's pretty easy. I'm going to make my graph kind of zoom in more by getting rid of part of the graph that isn't being used. So I'm going to hit this wrench for graph settings. I'm going to change this random number they put to 0. And since my biggest data point's 90, I'm going to change this number to 100. My y-axis is never negative, so I'll delete that and change it to 0 as well. And now the graph looks a little better. So we're very close to being done right now, but we do need a title for a good graph, and we need to label our axes. So for my title, I just click on Untitled. And what am I going to name this? Well, if I go back to my data table, I can just name it this, degrees pendulum starts at, versus this. So that's what I'll do. Degrees pendulum starts at versus time to stop. We'll shorten it a little. Hit save, and my title will appear when I print this out. To put my axis, give them names. Remember, our x is the degree the pendulum starts at. I go back to my wrench button, and it says add a label here. So we said it's degrees starting, and I'll close my picture out so you can see the other. Y we said was time to stop. Oops, I put it in the wrong spot. Now we're good. I click out, and you can see down here in the bottom right, it has my axis labeled, and on the y-axis, that's labeled as well. Great. Now we've made our perfect graph, and all we have to do is figure out how to get it into back into Summit, that is. Next to your name, there's a little box with an arrow to the right that says Share Graph if you click on it. So we'll click on that, hit the middle button, the Export Image, download PNG, and if you notice, in the bottom left here where I'm circling, it pops up down there. I can go into Summit, click and hold this graph that downloaded, and just drop it in where I want. Takes a few seconds, and there's my nice graph. That's all there is to it. Hope this was helpful.